The apartment smelled of coffee and regret. The kind that lingers when someone you love walks out the door but leaves their shadow behind. I stood in the kitchen, gripping the counter. As Ethan's voice cracked through the phone, just one picture of Scout. "Jamie, please." His plea was a knife, twisting in the wound he'd carved 3 months ago when he left me for Hera girl he'd found on TikTok. Of all places. We'd been together for 4 years, building a life in our cramped Brooklyn apartment. Scout, our golden retriever, was our glue. The one who'd sprawl across our laps during late-night Netflix binges. His warmth a silent promise we'd always be a family. But then Ethan started scrolling, and she appeared at Starry Vibes, with her glittery eyeliner and viral dance videos. He said she saw him in ways I couldn't. I didn't know what that meant, but it hurt like hell. Now, here I was, alone with Scout, staring at my phone as Ethan begged for a photo like he hadn't shattered my world. I wanted to scream, to tell him to go back to his TikTok dream girl. But Scout's big brown eyes stopped me. He deserved better than our mess. So, I snapped a picture. Scout sprawled on the couch. Tongue lolling and sent it. Ethan's reply was instant. "Thanks. He looks happy." I didn't respond. What was there to say? The truth was, I wasn't just angry at Ethan. I was angry at myself for still caring. For checking his TikTok profile late at night. Watching him and at Starry Vibes real name. Lila laughing in grainy videos. They were in L. Now, chasing her influencer dreams. I stayed in Brooklyn, working my dead-end barista job, trying to piece myself back together. But every night, Ethan's texts came like clockwork, asking for Scout. It was the only thread left between us, and I hated how much I clung to it. That night, I took Scout for a walk through Prospect Park. The air was crisp, the kind of fall evening that made New York feel alive. Scout bounded ahead, chasing leaves, oblivious to the ache in my chest. I wondered if Ethan missed Isis, the park, the way Scout would nudge our hands for treats. Did Lila even like dogs? I didn't know, but the thought of her replacing me in Scout's life made my stomach churn. When we got home, my phone buzzed again. Another text from Ethan. "Can you send a video tomorrow? I miss his goofy run." I stared at the screen, my thumb hovering over the keyboard. I wanted to ask why he cared, why he kept reaching out when he'd chosen her. Instead, I typed, "Sure," and hit send before I could overthink it. The next day at the coffee shop, my coworker Mia noticed my mood. "You look like you got dumped all over again," she said, tossing a rag at me. Mia was the only one I'd told about Ethan's late-night texts. She thought I should block him, move on. But it wasn't that simple. Scout was ours, not mine or his. And those pictures felt like the last piece of us I could hold on to. "Block him," Mia said, frothing milk for a latte. "He's stringing you along, Jamie." "He's not." I lied. "It's just about Scout." She rolled her eyes. "You're too soft. He's got a new life, and you're still sending him dog pics. Come on." I didn't argue. Mia didn't get it. Hadn't seen Ethan's face when we adopted Scout. The way he'd cried when we brought him home. That Ethan was still in there, somewhere, and I couldn't let go of him. That night, I filmed Scout chasing his tail in the living room. The video was shaky, my laugh hollow as I narrated. "Scout's at it again." I sent it to Ethan. And his reply came fast. God, I miss him. Thanks, Jamie. I stared at the words, my heart caught between anger and longing. Why did he miss Scout but not me? Over the next week, the texts kept coming. Sometimes Ethan would add a memory of Scout stealing pizza, or the time we took him to Coney Island. Each one was a punch, reminding me of what we'd lost. I started to wonder if he was reaching out for more than just Scout. But I didn't dare hope. Hope had already burned me once. One evening, as I scrolled through TikTok, I saw a new video from Lila. She was dancing in a park. Ethan in the background, laughing. The caption read, "Found my forever vibe." My chest tightened. Forever. That word used to belong to us. I tossed my phone across the room, startling Scout. He whined, nudging my hand, and I buried my face in his fur, letting the tears come. The tears didn't stop that night. I sat on the floor, Scout's warmth grounding me as I replayed every moment with Ethan in my head. The late-night talks, the way he'd hum off-key in the shower, the promise ring he gave me 2 years ago, now tucked in a drawer I couldn't bear to open. How had we gone from that to Thism crying alone? Him chasing a stranger's spotlight. The next morning, I woke to another text. Scout's tail still wags like crazy. Send another vid. I wanted to ignore it, to cut him off like Mia said. But Scout was staring at me, waiting for his walk. I couldn't punish him for Ethan's choices. So, I filmed him bounding through the park, leaves crunching under his paws, and sent it. Ethan's reply was quick. He's the best. Miss you both. My heart stopped. Miss you both. Was that a typo? A slip? I didn't reply, but the words haunted me all day. At work, I was a mess, spilling coffee and snapping at customers. Mia cornered me during a lull. You're spiraling. Jamie, what happened? I showed her the text. Her eyes narrowed. He's playing you. He can't just drop miss you and expect you to melt. I'm not melting, I said, but my voice betrayed me. I was melting, or at least cracking, and I hated it. That night, I did something stupid. I messaged Ethan, "Why do you keep texting? You left. You don't get to miss me." My hands shook as I hit send. His reply took hours, long enough for me to regret every word. When it came, it was short, "I'm sorry. Scout's all I have left of us." I stared at the screen, anger and sadness colliding. He didn't get to say that, not after choosing Lila. But the us in his text felt like a lifeline, and I hated how much I wanted to grab it. The next few days were a blur. I kept sending the pictures, the videos, each one a silent question. What do you want, Ethan? He started replying with more than thanks little stories, like how he'd told Lila about Scout's obsession with tennis balls. I didn't know why he was sharing, but I read every word, hungry for scraps of him. One night, he called. I froze, staring at his name on my screen. Scout barked, as if urging me to answer. I did, my voice tight. What? I just needed to hear your voice, he said. His was shaky, like he'd been crying. Lila's, it's not what I thought. My heart raced, but I stayed cold. That's not my problem, Ethan. I know. I messed up. Jamie, I see that now. I hung up, my hands trembling. Scout nudged me, and I clung to him, trying to breathe. Ethan didn't get to do this, to unravel me again. But his words lingered, and I couldn't shake the hope creeping in. The next day, I saw another TikTok from Lila. This time, Ethan wasn't in it. She was alone, lip-syncing to a breakup song, her eyes red. The comments were brutal. Where's your boy? Did he ditch you? My stomach twisted. Was Ethan telling the truth? Was it falling apart? I didn't ask. Instead, I sent another picture of Scout, this time with me in it, petting him on the couch. Ethan's reply was instant. You look good, Jamie. I missed that smile. I didn't respond, but I couldn't stop rereading it. Mia noticed my distraction at work. You're still talking to him, aren't you? She asked, arms crossed. Just about Scout. I lied again. She sighed but didn't push. That night, Ethan texted again. Can we talk? For real. I stared at the message, my thumb hovering. Scout whined, sensing my tension. I typed, fine, tomorrow, and hit send before I could change my mind. The call came at 8 p.m. Ethan's voice was raw, like he hadn't slept. I thought Lila was it. You know, the fame, the vibe. But it's empty. I miss you. I miss Scout. I miss home. I wanted to scream, to tell him he didn't get to miss home after burning it down. But all I said was, you made your choice. I know. He whispered. I was wrong. We sat in silence, the weight of 4 years between us. I didn't know what to say, but I knew I wasn't ready to forgive. Not yet. The silence on the phone stretched, heavy with everything we hadn't said. Ethan's breathing was uneven, like he was waiting for me to save him. I didn't. I need time, I finally said, and hung up. Scout curled up beside me, his warmth the only thing keeping me grounded. Ethan's words I was wrong echoed in my head, but they didn't erase the months of pain. The next morning, I woke to a new text. I'm coming back to New York. Can we meet? My heart lurched. He was coming back. For what, Scout? Me? Or just to escape whatever mess he'd made in L? I didn't reply, but the idea of seeing him again sent my mind spiraling. At work, Mia could tell I was off. What now? She asked, leaning against the counter. He's coming back, I admitted, wiping down the espresso machine to avoid her eyes. Her jaw dropped. And you're just gonna let him waltz back in? After everything? I didn't say that. I snapped. But her words hit hard. Was I letting him? I didn't even know what I wanted. That night, I took Scout to the park again, hoping the fresh air would clear my head. As he chased squirrels, I thought about Ethan, his laugh, his stupid puns, the way he'd hold my hand during thunderstorms. But I also thought about the nights I'd spent crying, the way he'd packed his bags without looking back. Could I trust him again? Did I even want to? When I got home, I saw another TikTok from Lila. She was packing boxes, her face pale. The caption read, "Sometimes you chase a dream and lose yourself." The comments were relentless, speculating about Ethan. My phone buzzed another text from him. I land tomorrow. Can I see Scout? And you? I stared at it, my chest tight. Tomorrow. Felt too soon. I didn't sleep that night. By morning, I was a wreck. But I texted back, fine. Meet me at the park. 3 p.m. I didn't know if I was ready, but I couldn't keep dodging him. Prospect Park. Scout tugged at his leash, oblivious to the storm brewing in me. Ethan showed up right on time, looking thinner, his blonde hair messy, his eyes tired. Scout bounded over, tail wagging, and Ethan dropped to his knees, burying his face in Scout's fur. I stood back, arms crossed, trying to hold myself together. Thanks for coming, he said, standing up, his voice soft. I didn't think you would. I'm here for Scout, I said, sharper than I meant. He flinched but nodded. We walked in silence, Scout trotting between us. Finally, Ethan spoke. Lila and I, it's over. It was a mistake. I got caught up in her world, but it wasn't real. I stopped walking. And what? You think you can just come back and pick up where we left off? No, he said quickly. I know I hurt you. I want a chance to make it right. I looked at him, at the boy I'd loved for years, and felt a mix of rage and longing. You don't get to decide that now, Ethan. You left. I know, he said, his voice breaking. I'm so sorry, Jamie. Scout whined, sensing the tension. I knelt to pet him, buying time to think. Ethan's apology felt real, but so did my pain. I didn't know if I could let him back in, but I couldn't deny the pull I still felt. We sat on a bench. Scout sprawled across our feet. Ethan talked about Elle. How the glitz faded fast. How Lila's world was all smoke and mirrors. I listened, torn between wanting to believe him and wanting to protect myself. When we parted, he hugged Scout, then looked at me. Can I see you again? I don't know, I said honestly. I need time. He nodded, and as he walked away, I felt a strange mix of relief and loss. Scout nudged my hand, and I realized I wasn't alone, not really. But Ethan's return had cracked something open, and I didn't know how to close it. Time didn't make things clearer. Ethan kept texting, not just about Scout but about us memories. Apologies. Promises to do better. Each message was a tug at my heart, but I kept my replies short, guarded. I wasn't ready to let him back in, but I couldn't cut him off either. Scout was our bridge, and every picture I sent felt like a confession. I still cared. Mia was losing patience. You're playing with fire, she said one day at the coffee shop, slamming a bag of beans on the counter. He's gonna hurt you again, Jamie. Maybe, I admitted. But what if he's changed? She snorted. People don't change that fast. He's just lonely. Her words stung, but I couldn't shake the image of Ethan at the park. His eyes full of regret. Was it loneliness? Or was it real? I didn't know. But I agreed to meet him again. This time at our old favorite diner. Scout came along, sprawled under the table as we sat across from each other, awkward like strangers. You look good, Ethan said, stirring his coffee. Happier. I'm trying, I said, focusing on Scout to avoid his gaze. "What do you want, Ethan? Really?" He leaned forward, his voice low. "I want us back. I know I don't deserve it, but I can't stop thinking about you, about what we had." I laughed, bitter. "You had that and threw it away for a TikTok star." "I know," he said, wincing. "I was an idiot. I thought I wanted something bigger, but it was nothing compared to you." His words hit hard, but I didn't trust them. Not yet. We talked for hours, memories spilling out good ones, like the time we got lost hiking with Scout, and painful ones, like the night he left. By the time we parted, I was exhausted, torn between hope and fear. The next few weeks were a dance of cautious steps. Ethan came to the apartment sometimes, always with an excuse to see Scout. We'd talk, laugh, and for moments, felt like before. But then I'd remember Lila, the videos, the way he'd walked away, and I'd pull back. He noticed, but he didn't push. He was trying. I could see that. But trust was a fragile thing. One night, he showed up with a tennis ball for Scout, his old favorite. We played in the park, laughing as Scout tore after it. And for a moment, I forgot the pain. Ethan caught my eye, his smile soft. "I missed this," he said. "I missed you." I didn't reply, but my heart raced. Later, as we sat on the couch, Scout snoring between us, Ethan reached for my hand. I let him hold it, just for a second, before pulling away. "I'm not ready," I said. "I'll wait," he said, and for the first time, I believed he might. But doubt lingered. I kept checking Lila's TikTok, half expecting to see Ethan there again. Her videos were sadder now, cryptic captions about heartbreak. One night, I saw a comment from her, "He's gone, but I'm still here." My stomach dropped. Was she talking about Ethan? Was he lying again? I confronted him the next day. "Are you still in touch with her?" I asked, showing him the comment. He shook his head, eyes wide. "No, Jamie. I swear. It's over. She's just dealing with it." I wanted to believe him, but the fear was there, sharp and real. Scout nudged me, as if sensing my turmoil. Petted him, grounding myself. Ethan watched, his face open, vulnerable. "I'll prove it to you," he said. "However long it takes." I didn't know if he could, but for the first time, I wanted to let him try. Ethan's promise hung in the air, heavy with possibility. I wanted to believe him, but every time I let my guard down, I saw Lila's face, her perfect smile in those TikTok videos. Trust wasn't a switch I could flip. Still, Ethan kept showing up for Scout. For me. For the fragile thing we were rebuilding. He'd bring coffee, tell dumb jokes, and play with Scout like no time had passed. It was disarming, and that scared me. One evening, we took Scout to Coney Island, a place we'd loved as a couple. The boardwalk was quiet, the summer crowds gone, leaving just the hum of the ocean and Scout's excited barks. Ethan tossed a frisbee, and Scout leapt, his joy infectious. I laughed, and Ethan's eyes lit up. "There's that smile," he said softly. "Stop," I said, but there was no bite in it. He grinned, and for a moment, felt like old times. But then my phone buzzed a notification from Lila's TikTok. I froze. The moment shattered. Ethan noticed. "What's wrong?" he asked, stepping closer. I showed him the video, Lila, sitting alone in a dimly lit room, singing a ballad about lost love. The caption read, "Some things you can't get back." My chest tightened. Was she talking about him? About us? "It's not about me," Ethan said, reading my face. "I haven't talked to her since I left L." "Then why does it feel like she's still here?" I snapped, louder than I meant. Scout whined, dropping the frisbee. Ethan looked down, his jaw tight. "I can't control what she posts, Jamie. But I'm here. I'm trying." I wanted to believe him, but the doubt was a poison, seeping into every moment. We walked back in silence, Scout trotting between us. When we reached the apartment, Ethan lingered at the door. "I'll keep showing you," he said. "I'm not going anywhere." He left, and I sank onto the couch, Scout's head in my lap. I scrolled through Lila's profile again, torturing myself. Her videos were a mix of defiance and sadness, but Ethan was nowhere in them. Maybe he was telling the truth. Maybe. The next day, Mia caught me staring at my phone during a slow shift. "You're obsessed," she said, snatching it away. "Stop stalking her. It's not helping." "I know," I admitted, rubbing my face. I need to know he's not lying." "Then ask him," she said. "But don't let him drag you down again." I took her advice. That night, I called Ethan. "I need the truth," I said. "Everything. No more half answers." He sighed, long and heavy. "Okay. Lila, she was a fantasy. I got caught up in her world. The likes, the attention. But it wasn't real. I realized that when I saw how empty it felt without you." "Why didn't you just talk to me?" I asked, my voice breaking. "We could have fixed it." "I was scared," he admitted. "I thought I wasn't enough for you. But I was wrong. Jamie. I know that now." His words hit deep, stirring up the love I'd tried to bury. But I wasn't ready to forgive. Not fully. "I need more than words," I said. "I need you to show me." "I will," he promised. And he did. Over the next weeks, he was there helping with Scout, showing up at the coffee shop with my favorite pastry, listening when I talked about my fears. It wasn't perfect, but it was something. One night, as we walked Scout through the park, Ethan stopped, his hand brushing mine. "I love you," he said, so quiet I almost missed it. I froze, my heart pounding. I didn't say it back, but I didn't pull away either. It was a start. Ethan's "I love you" lingered like a melody I couldn't shake. I didn't say it back, but it changed things. The air between us felt charged, fragile, like we were balancing on a tightrope. He didn't push, just kept showing up, steady and patient. It was maddening. How could he be so calm when I was a mess of hope and fear? Scout, as always, was the constant. Every night, Ethan texted for a picture or video, and I sent them, each one a small surrender. But now, I started including myself in them petting Scout, me laughing as he stole my socks. Ethan's replies grew warmer. You two are my favorite view. I hated how much I loved those words. One evening, he invited me to dinner, not at a diner, but at his new place, a tiny studio in Brooklyn. I'll cook, he said, grinning. Scout can supervise. Against my better judgment, I agreed. When I arrived, Scout in tow, the smell of garlic and tomatoes hit me. Ethan was in the kitchen, apron on, looking nervous but happy. This is weird, I said, setting Scout's leash down. Good weird, I hope, he replied, stirring a pot of pasta. We ate, talked, laughed. Scout sprawled under the table, snoring. For the first time in months, I felt light, like I could breathe. But then Ethan reached for my hand, and the weight of everything came rushing back. I can't just forget, I said, pulling away. You hurt me, Ethan. I know, he said, his eyes soft. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you, if you let me. I didn't know how to respond. Part of me wanted to run, to protect myself from more pain. But another part, the part that still loved him, wanted to stay. We cleaned up in silence, Scout watching us like he knew something was at stake. The next day, I saw a new TikTok from Lila. She was smiling again, filming in a new city, her captions upbeat. There was no mention of Ethan. No cryptic heartbreak posts. Felt like a door closing. But it didn't erase my doubts. I showed Mia the video at work, hoping for clarity. She's moving on, Mia said, shrugging. Maybe you should too, with or without him. Her words stuck with me. That night, I invited Ethan over. We sat on my couch, Scout between us, and I laid it all out. I'm scared, I said. I want to trust you, but I don't know if I can. He nodded, his face serious. I get it. I broke that trust. But I'm here, Jamie. I'm all in. I looked at him, the Scout, at the life we'd built and lost. I need time, I said again, but this time, it felt different, like I was opening a door, just a crack. Over the next weeks, we kept meeting, rebuilding piece by piece. Ethan was patient, never pushing too hard. He'd bring Scout treats, tell me stories about his new job, ask about my dreams. Slowly, the walls I'd built started to crumble. But I still checked Lila's TikTok, still braced for a sign that Ethan wasn't telling the truth. One night, as we walked Scout, Ethan stopped under a streetlight. I'm not perfect, he said. But I love you, and I'm not going anywhere. He pulled out the promise ring, the one I'd hidden away, and held it out. This still means something to me. Does it to you? I stared at it, my throat tight. Maybe, I whispered. It wasn't a yes, but it wasn't a no either. The promise ring sat on my nightstand, a quiet reminder of Ethan's question. I didn't put it on, but I didn't hide it away either. It was a symbol of what we'd been and what we might be again. But trust was a slow build, and I wasn't there yet. Ethan seemed to understand, keeping his distance but never leaving. His texts about Scout now mixed with questions about my day, my dreams, my heart. We started spending more time together, not just with Scout but as us. Coffee dates, walks in the park, quiet nights watching movies. Scout was always there. His joy a bridge between our cautious steps. Ethan was different, now less reckless, more present. He listened when I talked, remembered the little things, like how I hated olives but loved extra cheese. Felt like he was trying to rebuild not just us, but himself. One night, we took Scout to a dog park. As he romped with other dogs, Ethan and I sat on a bench, our shoulders brushing. I was lost, he said suddenly. In L. With Lila. I thought I needed to be someone else. But I just needed to be me with you. I looked at him, searching his face for lies. I didn't find any, but the fear was still there. What if you get lost again? I asked. I won't, he said, his voice firm. I know what I want now. I didn't reply, but I let my hand rest in his. It was small, but it felt huge. Scout bounded over, dropping a slobbery ball at our feet. And we laughed, the tension breaking. For the first time, I let myself imagine a future with him again. But the past wasn't gone. Lila's TikToks had stopped mentioning heartbreak. But every new post felt like a test. Was Ethan really done with her world? One evening, I saw a video of her at a party, surrounded by influencers. The comments mentioned Ethan, speculating he'd been there. My stomach twisted, and I showed him the video that night. I wasn't there, he said, his voice steady. I haven't talked to her in months. Check my phone if you want. I didn't, but his offer meant something. Still, I needed more than words. I need you to be honest, I said. Always. I will, he promised. And he started to prove it, sharing more about his time in L. The mistakes he'd made, the lessons he'd learned. It wasn't easy to hear, but it was real. Mia noticed the change in me. You're happier, she said one day at work, almost grudgingly. He's really trying. Yeah, I said, smiling. He is. That night, Ethan came over with pizza extra cheese. No olives. We ate on the floor, Scout begging for scraps. As we laughed, I realized I wasn't just falling back into old patterns. This was new, built on honesty and effort. When Ethan left, he kissed my forehead, soft and tentative. I didn't pull away. The next day, I put the promise ring on. Not as a commitment, but as a reminder, I was choosing to try. 2. Ethan noticed when he saw me, his eyes lighting up. You're wearing it, he said, almost in awe. For now, I said, but I smiled. It was enough. Wearing the ring felt like a promise to myself as much as to Ethan. It wasn't a full surrender, but a step toward healing, toward believing we could be something again. Ethan noticed the shift, his smile softer, his touches more careful. We were rebuilding, not just us but the trust he'd broken. Scout, as always, was our anchor, his goofy grin a reminder of what we'd always shared. One crisp fall morning, we took him to Prospect Park, our old routine now feeling new. Ethan tossed a stick, and Scout tore after it, his tail a blur. We laughed, our hands brushing as we walked. This is home, Ethan said, his voice quiet but sure. You. Scout. This. I looked at him, my heart full but still cautious. It's not that simple, I said. But I want it to be. He nodded, understanding. I'll keep earning it, Jamie. Every day. And he did. Over the next months. Ethan was there through late-night talks, quiet mornings with Scout, even the hard days when I doubted him. He didn't flinch when I asked about Lila, didn't hide when I needed space. He showed up, steady and real, and slowly, the cracks in my heart began to mend. One night, I stopped checking Lila's TikTok. It wasn't a conscious decision, just a realization that her world didn't matter anymore. Ethan wasn't there, he was here. With me. With Scout. I deleted the app, my hands steady, and felt a weight lift. Mia noticed the change at work. You're free, she said, grinning. Finally. Not free, I corrected. Just ready. That evening, I invited Ethan over. We cooked dinner together. Scout sprawled at our feet. As we ate, I reached for his hand, the ring glinting on my finger. I love you, I said, the words heavy but true. I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm trying. Ethan's eyes filled with tears. That's more than I deserve, he said, squeezing my hand. I love you, too. We didn't fix everything that night, but we didn't need to. Love wasn't about perfection, it was about showing up. Even when it hurt. Even when it was hard. Ethan had left me for a dream that wasn't real. But he came back. And I chose to let him try again. Not because I forgot, but because I believed in second chances. In the messy, beautiful work of rebuilding. Scout nudged my leg, begging for a scrap. We laughed, and Ethan tossed him a piece of chicken. In that moment, with the three of us together, I knew we'd be okay. Not perfect, not without scars, but okay. And for now, that was enough.